Tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, the church piece is interesting because like the history of it, and it depended on your faith. I mean, there's like the Daniel fast, which is like the 21-day fast, which is Old Testament. There's the Orthodox have their own. There's Ember days I've heard about. There's Lent. There's certain ways, and there's like Okay, this is just crazy. Technically, there's only two. This gets back to what you were saying earlier. When we fast, we cheat. There's only two fast days a year in the Catholic Church: Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And by fast, we say you can have two small meals a day that don't equal one meal, and then one normal meal. Also abstain from meat, which is that's kind of interesting too. What is meat? It's fish meat. Anyways, so that's what our fasting is. And then now you have to fast for an hour before communion, which you could probably be eating some Cheerios on the way to mass and probably still hit that hour. And so it's interesting. The reason for this, and I get it, is why certain limits or while certain mandates were removed in the history of America is because a lot of people were leaving Catholicism because they got in America, you got the worst jobs and often the people were dying and they were the factory jobs, and like all this whole history of even why Knights of Columbus got started because there were a lot of widows that are husbands, and Irish Catholics got the worst jobs and they were dying. So a lot of Catholics stopped becoming Catholic because they didn't have to fast. And so the church is like, shoot, okay, we're losing Catholics to the Protestant faith. Shout out to my Protestants. I got a lot of love for my Protestants out there. But the church, the Pope's like, we're losing a lot of Catholics in America to Protestants. Let's remove those extreme fasts. And so it might have been up to 24 hours before the Eucharist. It was at least midnight. I know that before the next day. So we removed those. And so we throw out the baby with the bathwater. And so I appreciate the quarterly 72-hour fast. There's nothing liturgical about that. But annual fast, I'd be interested in doing a 5 or 7 day. I never have. I got a buddy who's joining us for the 72-hour next week, but it's starting on Sunday. He's going to do a 5 day. But just intentionally, like, I just really like what you're saying. We typically at our house, we only have dessert and it's ice cream every Saturday night. And then Sunday night as well. The girls get it. And they know it's the Lord's Day, which is really freaking cool. They're most excited about the Lord's Day because they get ice cream, which I think is pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
It's a reminder. Oh, this is a celebration. This is something here that we're doing. But then for the obvious one is Lent, abstaining from certain foods and maybe even coffee, God willing, but mortify yourself without mortifying others. As St. Jose Maria says, if you're going to be a jerk, please drink your coffee. But then Holy Week is another good one. Man, as I'm thinking right now, Joe, maybe we do an extended fast during Holy Week, a little more than 72 hours. We did one last year for the Triduum, but an extended 72-hour fast. Let me ask you this as we transition. What are some pro tips? What have you found to where you were even talking about like having healthy fats in a keto diet? There's a way to make it work well for you, either entering into a fast. What can you do during a fast, and then even exiting out of a fast? What are some pro tips for our listeners?